Okay, so now that we have our rolling bass and our kick drum, I am going to take a look at adding more drums into the mix here. I'm going to add a device here, and I'm going to find a Reason drum kits device. Let's just change to instruments here. And Reason drum kits. Just going to pull that over, put it on the right side of the rack here, and I'm also going to add a drum sequencer right on top, like so. And I have a variation on the Big Room patch called Big Room Dave. Just going to grab that. And we have 4 to the floor right now, so I'm just going to run this. Yeah, so that's what the kick sounds like on that one. If I play it together with the rest of the track. We're basically just reinforcing the kick to kick with this one, and we'll balance them out later. So I'm going to add a couple of snares in here, one here and here, and then a closed hi-hat. So I'm just going to reassign these instruments because they're not exactly what I want in the right place. So this snare is actually going to be on, just going to click on Learn here and press a D. So my snare is on D1. And then my closed hi-hat, that will be on a G sharp one. Okay, so let's have a listen to this now that we've reassigned the MIDI keys. Cool, so just a straight ahead, 4 to the floor rock beat to go behind our song here. Let's have a listen. Great. So now that we have that in place, just going to switch over to our sequencer. And in the sequencer, we have the drum kit here. Just going to rename this here to drums. I'm just going to drop the sequence into the track here. We are going to modify it and add some other stuff, but just for now I want to throw this in here. Okay, so it's bypassed the player, so let's go back F7 to the MIDI, and here we see our drums. Okay, I'm just going to turn the click off. Cool, now I want these drums on separate tracks, so I'm just going to right click on here, go to extract notes to lanes, and then I'm just going to click on move here, and that will do exactly what it says here. So now we have each drum on its own lane. And the reason I do this is so that I can bounce these to audio later when it comes to mix down the track. So if I double click on this one, you can see we're in multi-lane edit mode, so we can see all of our drums here. We can go to drum edit, but in this case it just shows us note numbers, so it's not very useful. So we'll just stay in key edit here. If I turn off multi-lane, you'll just see the current track that we're on, which is the hi-hat. I'll turn this back on. So we have our kick, our snare, and our hi-hat. So I'm just going to keep the drum beat like this for now. Once we start arranging the song, then I will add some variations to it and make it a little more interesting. So moving on, we are going to look at a lead line, a couple of lead lines that will go along with this track. So we're going to start by adding a polytone to the mix here, and I'm just going to add a device in instruments, and if we go down to the letter P, we have this polytone dual layer synth, and I am going to choose a sound called singular lead, and that sounds like this. So within this polytone, I am going to just reduce the decay here a little bit, and also the sustain. I'm going to bring it down to around about here. Release, I'll leave about the same, and then I think that is great for now. In the B side of the polytone, I'm also going to reduce the decay and the sustain. To match the A side, basically. And everything else I'm just going to leave as it is. So let's switch over to our sequencer. So I'm going to double click here to create a clip, and I am going to just make it 4 bars for now. Double click here to make sure we're at the start. I'm going to give myself a pre-count because I am going to play this in, and make sure my pre-count is set to 2 because I like it to be a little bit longer. And then I'm going to record a note in here, which will be a C note. So I'm going to play this C4 here and record it in. So let's just give it a try here. Okay, I think my timing was a little bit off there. Just going to listen back. Okay, need to turn down the volume of everything else in the mix here so I can hear that. Let's just click here, press shift, click here, grab everything, pull it down. Okay, I'm just going to adjust these notes, move them to where I want them to be, and I think I would like this one to be around about here. Just going to change my snap to 32. And I'm going to solo this so I can just hear it on its own. Cool, so that's the kind of rhythm I want on this singular lead. And I'm going to add some effects to this right now. So in the rack view, I'm just going to switch over F6. I'm going to add an insert effect here. Actually, I'm going to add a couple of effects. I just want this to sound a little more lo-fi than it is right now. So I'm going to add kilohertz, bit crush, and we are going to just change this, turn the quantize down a little bit. Let's just listen to it while we do it. I'm just going to F7 here and set our loop marker to 5 here for the return. Make sure the loop is on. So you can already hear that's made quite a bit of difference to the sound that we had originally. So the next thing I want to add here is a reverb. So I'm just going to go in here, right click, effects, devices, and I'm going to add this Valhalla Supermassive. And let's just have a listen while we adjust the settings of this one. Great. So I like the tail that this has on it. It kind of continues in the background for a while. So let's just listen to this in the context of the track. Okay, it's pretty mellow and in the background right now, but that will change once we do our arrangement here. Hey, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more content like this.